the video series of the subject Object-Oriented Programming using Java. Myself, Hemalisha, I am working as an assistant professor in LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. In this video lecture, I am going to cover about exception handling concept of Java, and this topic is a part of unit number 4, package and exception handling. Till now we have covered what is package. Now we will focus exception handling concept in this video lecture. Now for that, say for the example you have some code. Now you just need to think that can we handle runtime error in our program? Say for the example, here I have created one program in the class is this EHDemo, and one public static void main function is available. Now inside main I am just creating one integer variable, that integer array variable that stores the 5 integer values. Integer variable name is I have given as a marks, and just create this array by using new operator and try to assign the value at the index value 5. Marks of 5 equals to this 10. Now just try to compile this code. You will not get any error like this. Just try to compile this code. I am just going to compile by using the javac, then ehdemo.java command I am using, and see here we are not getting any error. Now just run this file by using the command java ehdemo and see what you are getting. After running your program, you will get such an error, exception in thread main, and you will get the location at line number 5 over here in this last line. This means this error is array index out of bounds because of 5. 5 is the message name and this is the exception class name. Now what you have observed in this code? This code compiles perfectly, but it generates the runtime error because of the reason you are accessing some array out of the index. Now when such an error occurs in your program, it stops the execution of your running program. Now do you have any mechanism so that you can execute the remaining part of the program and you can handle such a runtime error? Say for the example, there are 5000 line of code, and because of the one line your program stopped the execution and this error is handleable. Then also you cannot execute remaining part of your code. So such a handling mechanism is available in Java, and you can stop, you can continue with the execution of your program though there is error in your code. See here, so this you can achieve by using the concept of exception handling and its keyword. So keywords and exception handling concept I am going to cover. So this is the basic use of exception handling. It handles the runtime error. So let's talk about the exception handling. Now what do you mean by exception first? Exception means abnormal condition of the program, and what is handling? Handling means recover your program from that exceptional condition. So this is the basic meaning of exception handling. Now this exception handling is a mechanism that handles your runtime errors in your program, and this Java is a robust language. The robustness of a language means it handles your error runtime as well as compile time both. So all the robust languages having this exception handling mechanism available, such that Java also having this exception handling mechanism. Now to provide this exception handling mechanism, 5 keywords are available that provides this exception handling mechanism. The keywords are first the strike keyword, then the second is catch keyword, then the third is finally keyword, fourth is throw keyword, and the last one is throws keyword. So these 5 keywords and the syntax to use these keywords basically provides the concept of exception handling in Java. So to understand the exception handling concept, we must learn these 5 keywords. So first, let's start about the try keyword. What is the syntax of try keyword? When we should use this try keyword? Where we should this try keyword? So here this try is basically a keyword which is used to specify block where should place the exception code. That means you have to find out the portion of the code that may generate your runtime error, and you have to put inside one block, and that block name you should give as a try block. Now this try keyword must be used inside the block, and this try block must be followed by either one catch block or one finally block. That means you cannot write only try block in your program. So keep in mind this thing, right? Now here one code I have written. Now you just need to find out the statements inside the function or inside the constructor, and you just keep that statements that may generate the error inside one block and just give the block name. Start with the try keyword. So this try basically having the block, start block and start curly braces and end curly braces indicates it is a try block. Try block may generate the error runtime. Now this try must be followed by catch or finally. The syntax of catch and finally I am going to cover continuously in this video lecture. Now the second keyword is a catch keyword. Now what is catch? So catch here, it is basically a block in Java. The syntax is like a blocks. That means you have to create one curly brackets. Set of statement you have to put in a block. Now this block is basically used to handle the runtime exception. This catch must be preceded by the try block, which means we can't use the catch block without the try block. That means you cannot write catch without try. Try must be followed by this catch. If you want to use the catch, you have to specify the try block, right? Now the multiple catch block you can write for the single try block, and it can be followed by the finally block. So if you want to write the finally block, then that can you write after the completion of all the catch block, right? The finally syntax I am going to cover in next slide also. Now the catch block executes only if there is a runtime error in your statements of a try block, and that error match with the catch specified exception name. Then and only then it executes, right? So here you have to keep in mind it only executes when there is error in a statement where statements of the try block and this error matches. Now what is the syntax? So here this try block having one catch block, this catch having the syntax in bracket, we are writing the type of exception name and the object or variable name of the exception. Then we create the brackets. This block indicates the catch block, and it is basically error handling block because it is a catch block. So it is called as an error handling block. Now let's talk about the finally. Now finally is basically a block. Now it is basically used to execute some important statement that must execute in your program, though there is error or though there is no error. What is the execution requirement of catch? If there is error, then and only then catch run. But finally executes always though there is an error in try block, although there is no error in try block. That's why we are just keeping the important statement that must execute in your program inside this finally block. Generally, we are writing the source, the resource releasing code. Say for the example, file closing statement, connection closing statement inside this finally block because it actually releases the resource occupied by your process. Right? Now, what is more about the finally? So it execute always whether an exception is handled or not handled, or generated or not generated. Now it must be preceded by the try block or catch block, which means we can't use finally block without try block. You cannot write finally block alone. There must be at least one try block present to write the finally block. Right? Now what is the syntax? And another thing about the finally is single finally block you can write for the single try block. That means multiple finally block you cannot write, like multiple catch block. Multiple catch block you can write, but multiple finally block you cannot write. Now here it is the syntax of the finally block. Try followed by catch, and after completion of catch block you can write the finally block like this. Now finally block start curly braces and end curly braces indicates it's a finally block, and generally we are writing resource closing statements inside it. Now throw statements. Now what is throw? Throw is basically keyword used to throw an exception. Now the syntax is basically this throw is throw, then we are writing the exception object name. So meaning of that means it throws an exception. Now the syntax of this throw keyword is like this. Say for the example you want to throw based on some required condition. At that time you can write like this. You just can create the object of the exception and use the throw statement, throw e, like this. Now this exception class that I will cover in later on videos, this exception is basically a built-in class available in java.lang package, which is basically used to create an object of exception class that represent the exceptions of your program. And the object you can use with the throw syntax. Now this throw is basically a statement making keyword. So you have to write the semicolon after completion of this statement because it is a statement. Now where you can write the statement? The statement you can write only inside the function or inside the constructors. Right? So this throw statement syntax you can write inside the body part of the function or inside the body part of the constructor. Now here I have used this statement inside the try block. So this you can write also because try block only you can write inside the body part of function or inside the body part of constructor. That's why. Now the next and last keyword is throws keyword. This throws keyword is basically used to declare the exceptions thrown by some method. So it is just used for the declaration of the method. So when you declare some method and that method throw exception, multiple exception. So you can write this method may throw such an exception. So the developer who will use that particular function, they can get the idea which kind of exception they have to handle in their programs to use that particular function. So that's such a declaration statement you can write by using this throws keyword. Now it doesn't throw an exception, but it specifies such an exception will be thrown inside the body part of this function. Now see this program here, this void display function, you can write such a syntax throws, then multiple exception class names you can write by using the comma, and the meaning of this thing, this particular function display may generate exception 1, exception 2 types of exception. So the developer who will use this display function, they can handle this exception 1 and exception 2 in their programs. So this is just a declaration, right? Now, this is all about the all 5 keywords. Now, combination of this all the keywords you can see over here. Here, this is the syntax of try block. What is try block? That may the statement groups that may generates the runtime error that we are putting inside the block, and that block is called as a try block. Try must be followed by this catch block. The syntax of catch is available here. Then syntax of finally block is available here. This finally follows the catch block. So you can write this finally block after completion of catch block. Now, what is the syntax of throw? See the syntax of throw inside this try block. Throw E is the syntax of a throw keyword. And what is the syntax of throws keyword? So, it is at the declaration part, void display throws exception 1, comma exception 2. This is basically exception class names, right? So, hope you people are clear. What is the basic syntax to use these 5 keywords? This is the single example where I have used all the syntax of try, catch, finally, throw and throws. So hope you people are clear with the concept of exception handling. What is the use of exception handling? What is the syntax of this all 5 keywords? So here I am going to end this session now. Thank you for watching this video. I will continue with the next topic in my next video lecture. Thank you.